You can trade here just a small amount, just $250. And I will teach you how to trade and how to make money, how to get profit. We're not interested. You're not interested in how to make money?
They monitor people who are showing interest to invest. So at first they will offer a minimum of $250 as a start of the investment. They will see their money growing from day to day. That $250 tomorrow it will be around $300. The next day it will be around $500. And when they show interest on investing more, that's the time that they will fall to that scheme. On the actual date that we raided them, it was actually being shown in a board that they're earning around a minimum of $1 million a day coming from all the investors around the world.
So yung binibenta namin, so wala kami binibenta. Yung mga agent binibenta nila is pangarap. Yung sinasabi ng aming company. Because mag-ano sila, hikayatan nila na mag-deposit or mag-invest yung isang client.
I think people are being victimized by this kind of fraud is because of greed. You know, they wanting of having more of what they have.
Trust is what it comes down to ultimately. We don't trust each other. We can't trust each other. It's not in our nature. So we created banks to make sure financial transactions go flawlessly, to make sure there is no trouble. But I believe at the latest with the financial crisis around 2008, it became very clear that even these institutions, they are just people in the end, human beings tempted by greed. They are likely to fall for opportunity. They would get in over their head, speculating with money they didn't have. And this is where Bitcoin came in sort of as this very well-timed rebel, suggesting a completely new system that hadn't been there before, that would eliminate the one thing that we were worried about, the one thing that we didn't know how to handle, which is trust. Minimizing trust and replacing it with a technology we hadn't seen before. Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, it opens doors to the people that were not involved in financial actions. There are a lot of unbanked people, people that then have no access to services that we would take for granted, like insurance, saving money, borrowing money, just planning ahead further than the day that they live, because they only have money for that day they are living actively.
Ako si MACARIA de la CRUZ, na nakatira dito sa loob ng sementeryo. Dito ako pinanganak. May bayad? Magkano? Ako po yung takbuhan dito ng mga tao, dito sa loob ng sementeryo. Sa akin po sila nangungutang ng pera. Nangungutang po sila ng pera, 1,000. Ang balik po niyon ay 1,200. 2 months to pay po yun sa akin. Kaya hindi ko naman din po sila mapahindian dahil nangangailangan, lalo na kapag sinasabi nilang ang kanilang mga anak ay may sakit, ang kanilang mga parents o kaya yung mga apo nila, ganyan, o sa pangangailangan, mga yung bang financially sa araw-araw nila, dito sila tumatakbo sa akin. Kaya pinagbibigyan ko naman sila.
Ang tungkulin ko po sa bahay ay maglinis po. Kasi po ako lang po yung nag-iisang babae. Kaya po, kailangan ko pong matuto maglinis. Kahit na si Mama wala dito sa Pilipinas, namimiss ko siya kasi wala akong nanay. Nandiyan si Mama kasi po nagtatrabaho po siya sa Dubai para po sa amin. Para po may maibigay niya po yung pangarap na gusto niyang pangarap po sa amin. Tsaka po para po yung gusto po namin maibigay niya. Para po makapagtapos ng pag-aaral po. Ayun po.
Sabi mo, papaaki ka.
Ayos sumagot.
Hindi mo mabulakon. Asan sinukat?
Sa kabila.
There are a lot of overseas workers from the Philippines going to other countries because they can earn more there than they could in the Philippines. So even though their salary compared to the global standards is really low, even overseas, they can send it back to the Philippines. The issue is that they pay extremely high fees just to remit the money to their families at home. Where cryptocurrency comes in, blockchain technology comes in already, is that they can send back the money with cryptocurrencies. Their family can exchange it in pawn shops where they live, and the fees are so much lower. And that is something that is already happening today, and that is just going to develop and improve, I believe.
The average amount that a Filipino sends home is $200. They'll pay $20 out of that to get that money to their family. Bitcoin is really a decentralized financial system. It doesn't need a government, it doesn't have central authority. It's interoperable, it's global, it's borderless. Basically, it's an option for people who are excluded from the existing systems. Rebit is a platform where people could send money from anywhere in the world to the Philippines using Bitcoin. Yeah, so a normal overseas Filipino worker wouldn't know how to use Bitcoin. And, that was one of the first challenges we had. And what we did was we partnered with similar services like Rebit, but based in, Canada or South Korea or Hong Kong or Singapore. And what they did was they provided the first mile for communities, Filipino communities, Filipino overseas workers. They would just basically advertise a cheaper, faster way to send money to the Philippines, making the Bitcoin part invisible. So using Bitcoin as a platform, we were able to provide a service where you could just easily sign up, make an account, put in the amount you want to put in the pickup option, delivery option, and then I choose the pawn shop, and it's done. Like, I've sent money, basically $20 from anywhere in the world to the Philippines, and I can go downstairs to the pawn shop, pick it up as soon as I get this text message or this email. In the Philippines, there's 50 million people younger that are 24 and below. And they are tech savvy, they're not afraid of technology, they're not afraid of the digital world. They kind of don't trust the banks. It's kind of like brewing, we say, like a perfect storm for this kind of technology to take hold.
My name is Lina. I am a speaker in the blockchain space. I support a couple companies, blockchain companies, and I'm the founder of Blockchats.
In an emerging market like the Philippines, there's a need, there's a problem. Bitcoin didn't come from blockchain. The word blockchain came from the Bitcoin protocol.
Everybody's still kind of trying to figure out for themselves, what can we do with this?
I feel so much power in the community, so much drive and passion for change and for development. Probably one of the biggest reasons is that the people feel what problems they have and they see how they can solve it. They see this technology and they understand, here is a use case for me to improve my situation. They experience trouble firsthand. They experience problems within politics and society firsthand.
Online, it's being shown how Bitcoin grows faster, how people get rich to it, but how many people also got more losses on it. The thing is, are you buying to the right people? Are you investing to the right people? Are you investing to the right company? Is this a legitimate company? You're only having your transactions online. You don't see these people. You don't see them in person. You don't know where they are. That's the characteristic of cybercrime. Anonymity, opportunity. So I think it's the reason why there's a lot of victims of cybercrime and Bitcoin investment.
Bitcoin was and is being used for fraudulent activities, for fake investment schemes, for Ponzi schemes, and just for scams, because it was easy for the people. There was a hype, there is excitement, not a lot of knowledge, but hope is being put into it. So it doesn't only attract good people, it attracts bad people as well. that then can make a lot of money out of that. That is not, that is just a very small part of the space. It doesn't reflect this technology and what this technology can do.
The way that blockchain works as opposed to a centralized system is that the information, data, and control is not in the hand of a centralized entity, but it's distributed in copies among nodes all over the world. These nodes are handled independently, and anybody that has enough computing power, in theory, could run a node, meaning anybody could take part in the process of verifying transactions and building these blockchains. This is where the big difference lies, because the power and the control is given back to the people.
Plastic is leaching into the ocean. Even as a child, I began to witness debris floating up on the beach. The more time, the more plastic washed up, and early in life, I came to understand that it was waste. It should be no surprise that plastic is flowing into the ocean from those countries that have extreme poverty. And here we are, an island nation. Thousands of islands with very little waste management. Of course it's leaching into the ocean. That's why we're here.
Ang edad ko noon, 9 years old pa lang ako noon. Ngayon, 64 na ako ngayon. Hanggang ngayon, nandito pa rin ako, nangangalaykay. Dito ko na inano ang mga anak ko, binuhay sa pagkukuha ng basura. Nakapag-aral pero hindi nakapagtapos. Dahil sa kahirapan, hindi ko sila na masyadong nabigyan ng mga pinag-aralan.
The Plastic Bank has launched a blockchain-based banking application for the poor, an opportunity to use plastic as money. Individual collectors that would otherwise sell to a middleman, who then sells to another middleman, and we remove the middleman. And then we transport directly from the hands of the collector to the recycler. All of the extra value that was going to all those middlemen are now shared amongst the collectors.
Ang para sa amin, ang plastic, pira. Kasi pag nakukuha na namin yon, ibibinta na namin, pira na yon, bibili na ng pagkain, bibigay ng baon sa mga anak namin na nag-aaral, ibibayad sa tubig, sa kuryente. Yun ang purpose namin para araw-araw kaming nandyan, para ganun ang aming ginagawa. Kasi pag hindi ka naman gumalaw, hindi ka magpunta dyan, wala kaming makukuha na pagkain araw-araw.
Sa winning tabang nahalin po sa Plastic Bank, we are very, very fortunate that the city of Naga,
I am because of all of you. The Plastic Bank is because of all of you. There's a powerful roadmap ahead for the Plastic Bank and the application. including financial inclusion, credit rating, debt service. And the app in this community is used not just to register the collector, not just to give a sense of identity, but to give a transaction history, to give the collector an opportunity to have authentic value exchanged into their account. It allows her to have a savings account. It allows her to be free of cash. It provides additional safety for the home. And that material, as it's then shipped to a recycling facility, well, that recycling facility also has now clarity into the entire supply chain. Out of all of the collection markets, how much material and what type of material is in each of those markets? And more importantly, it's that sense of identity and a savings. How powerful to look into a bank account now and see that you actually have value.
Our mobile phone penetration is over 100%. One of the fastest growing in the world. Instead of making people go to the bank, let's just put banking into their hands. It's really not the banks that we need, it's banking. By putting the bank in the smartphone, it's so much more accessible. You know, we're not here to kind of disrupt the existing systems. We're here to work with them and to connect with them and to work together because we're all in the same, we're all from the Philippines, we're all in the same country, we're all in this together, right? We want everybody to benefit. And by connecting our app to the existing systems, you know, it makes that transition easier, and it makes people adopting the technology, using these kinds of apps, you know, not that scary. And eventually the goal would be if the apps are really useful and if they work, then you don't need to convince people.
I think you're doing that pioneer work there because you're maybe struggling with the image that, you know, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency is this disruptive kind of thing that endangers traditional businesses. So what you're doing by working together instead of working against them, I think you're doing very important work.
So our kind of more long-term, short-term, long-term, medium-term goal is really to get as many users as possible, maybe at least 4 or 5 million users within the next couple of years. And you know, just like with anything, as soon as you hit that critical mass, then more people are going to want to use it. More people are just going to naturally start using it.
I believe blockchain technology will fundamentally change the way our society works. In the long run, it will enable new processes we can't think of right now. But the option is there. What it can do is it can include people. It can narrow down the gap between rich and poor. It can create a new financial system that includes people, that helps the entire world in a way get together in a social and inclusive way, take part in processes, build the economy, build society. I don't know if we can expect this kind of development in the next years or even decades, because it needs more than just technology. In the end, it's a technology. We have to adjust on a social level, on a mental and societal level.